भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, the two doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, Jaya and Vijay, cursed by the sages. Text number 5 onwards. Yannamani cha grinati loko bhritte kirtagasi so asadu vadas tatkirtin hanti swachami vamaya. A wrong act committed by a servant leads people in general to blame his master, just as a spot of white leprosy on any part of the body pollutes all of the skin. A Vaishnava therefore should be fully qualified. As stated in the Bhagavatam, anyone who has become a Vaishnava has developed all the good qualities of the demigods. Anyone who has become a Vaishnava has developed all the good qualities of the demigods. So we are actually struggling to become a devotee or a Vaishnava. Just Prabhupada's mercy, we call ourselves as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, but we are not Vaishnava yet. We are trying, we are struggling. There are 26 qualifications mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. A devotee should always see that his Vaishnava qualities increase with the advancement of his Krishna consciousness. A devotee should be blameless because any offense by the devotee is a scar on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The devotee's duty is to be always conscious in his dealings with others, especially with another devotee of the Lord. Wow. Prabhupada writes, a devotee should always see that his Vaishnava qualities increase with the advancement of his Krishna consciousness. Basically, that is the barometer of whether we are making progress or not, that our qualities are increasing or not, whether in the numbers or in the percentage wise. The 26 qualities are mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Maybe one day I can post them on the group. And we have to make sure that we are developing those qualities. It's not that becoming devotee means automatically these qualities will be developed. We have to work hard. Nectar Devotion says, Anushilanam. There's a word in the beginning of shloka. Anushilanam. Anushilanam means cultivation. Cultivation means we have to work hard in cultivating those qualities. And like we studied in Bhagavad Gita, the different qualities Krishna is expecting from his devotees. Very, very serious qualities. Humility, tolerance, patience. These are few qualities. So we have to see that we develop those and keep on increasing those qualities in ourselves. Then we would be ready to be called a Vaishnava, a devotee. It's not just because we have put on Kanti Mala and we chant and we put on nice tilak and dhoti kurta, or the ladies put on nice sari and this and that, and matching bead bag or whatever that makes us devotees. It's just the qualities. Those qualities, that's what makes us devotees. And Prabhupada is again writing, a devotee's duty is to be always conscious in his dealings with others, especially with another devotee of the Lord. So our dealings with other devotees, how we deal with them, just like here, Jai Vijay, they didn't deal properly with the four Kumaras, and the Lord is saying that basically it reflects that their master is not proper. He's just taking the blame on himself. A devotee should be blameless because any offense by the devotee is a scar on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any offense by the devotee, and we commit tons of offenses every day, every single day. So, yeah, long way to go actually. And actually, it's not, sometimes people call me that, Prabhuji, you're very pessimistic. I try to be realistic actually. And if we feel that we don't have these qualities and we have to develop these qualities, then we would take it up seriously. It will make us more humble. That where do I stand and where do I have to go? I mean, I would love to just make jokes, and I do that all the time, or just say, oh, chant and be happy, and just chant and dance, and that's it. We are making progress. Not according to Prabhupada's purpose. Chanting and dancing devotees can do, and they should do. No doubt about it. They should be happily chanting and dancing. But the point is, we have to develop the qualities, these Vaishnava qualities. Very, very important for us to make progress. Otherwise, we'll not be making progress. Text 6. Yasya amrita malaya shai shravanavagaha sadhya punahati jagadashva chad vikuntha soham bhavad bhayo palabda sutirtha kirtesh chindyam sabaham piva pratikula vrittim. Anyone in the entire world, even down to the Chandal, who lives by cooking and eating the flesh of the dog, is immediately purified if he takes bath in hearing through the ear the glorification of my name, fame, etc. Now you have realized me without doubt, therefore I will not hesitate to lop off my own arm if its conduct is found hostile to you. So even Chandal, so it's a point that Prabhupada also followed, and the Lord is making here. The bhakti process is so powerful, especially just the hearing and chanting of the glories of the Lord, the glories of His name, the fame, pastimes, etc. Is so powerful that even a Chandal can get purified, immediately purified. Here the Lord is saying, he gets immediately purified. So what to speak of those who are in the Varnashram system? They'll definitely get purified. So the Smarta Brahmins or the caste Brahmins in India, they don't follow this procedure. And many times Prabhupada had hard time with them to convince them that anybody who chants the holy name or hears the holy name or glorification of the Lord is immediately purified. He has immediately become a Vaishnava. Or, well, Vaishnava means the qualifications, but at least he's on the path. So this is how powerful it is. And then the Lord is saying, now you have become a devotee, and if my conduct is found hostile to you, means I don't deal with you properly, I'm ready to lop off my own arm, means cut off my own arm. That's how he much loves his devotees. Real purification can take place in human society if its members take to Krishna consciousness. This is clearly stated in all Vedic literature. Anyone who takes to Krishna consciousness in all sincerity, even if he is not very advanced in good behavior, is purified. So definitely Krishna consciousness or chanting, hearing of the Lord, chanting of the Lord's name, his fame, pastimes, it purifies the consciousness. A devotee can be recruited from any section of human society, although it is not expected that everyone in all segments of society is well behaved. As stated in this verse and in many places in Bhagavad Gita, even if one is not born in a Brahmin family, even if one is not born in a Brahmin family, or even if he is born in a family of Chandals, if he simply takes to Krishna consciousness, he is immediately purified. Immediately. In Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, verses 30 through 32, it is clearly stated that even though a man is not well behaved, if he simply takes to Krishna consciousness, he is understood to be a saintly person. As long as a man is in this material world, he has two different relationships in his dealings with others. One relationship pertains to the body and the other pertains to the spirit. As far as bodily affairs or social activities are concerned, although a man is purified on the spiritual platform, it is sometimes seen that he acts in terms of his bodily relationships. Prabhupada is very liberal. He said, it is sometimes seen that he acts in terms of his bodily relationships. We are always acting on bodily relationships. If a devotee is born in the family of a Chandal, lower caste, is sometimes found engaged in his habitual activities, he is not to be considered a Chandal. In other words, a Vaishnava should not be evaluated in terms of his body. Shastra states that one should not think of the deity in the temple to be made of wood or stone. And no one should think that a person coming from a lower caste family who has taken to Krishna consciousness is still of the same low caste. These attitudes are forbidden because anyone who takes to Krishna consciousness is understood to be fully purified. He is at least engaged in the process of purification. And if he sticks to the principle of Krishna consciousness, he will very soon be fully purified. The conclusion is that if one takes to Krishna consciousness, with all seriousness, he is to be understood as already purified. And Krishna is ready to give him protection by all means. The Lord assures herein that he is ready to give protection to his devotee, even if there is need to cut off part of his own body. He doesn't even love his body as much as he loves his devotees. And Prabhupada again and again saying, even if somebody is born a Chandal, but he is taken to Krishna consciousness, so he is purified, and if he remains, I mean, he sticks to the principle, he will be purified. Very soon he will be fully purified. This is how powerful this bhakti process is. And at the same time, we should not be judging others. That's another point of this purport. We should know why we are the judge and why we think we can judge somebody else. Oh, he's an American Vaishnava, or he's a Russian Vaishnava, and he's a black, or he's a white, or he's a brown or yellow Vaishnava. No, Vaishnava is a Vaishnava. That's it. That's how we should be looking at everybody. No matter how many qualities he has, but if he has taken to the process, that's commendable enough for us to deal with them properly, him or her, deal with them in a proper way. And now, who's a Vaishnava? That's a $1 million question. So, Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami says, anyone who has even once chanted the holy name of Krishna, we should pay respect to him. We should respect him. Anyone from any part of the country, of the world, from any any system, any faith. So I'm pretty sure all over the world, every person, maybe somebody in Siberia or some other places, wherever they don't have access to net or news or TV or whatever. So those who have access, they have chanted the names of Krishna once. They must have. Whether they have read the name of Krishna in the news or they have heard the name of Krishna in the news, and Krishna means not just Krishna. Previous Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, so his name contained the name of Krishna. And if anybody said his name or heard his name, means he's a Vaishnava. So this is how we should be dealing with others. And in fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in one of his writings that if somebody is not a devotee today, if somebody, I mean, there are so many people who are not devotees, who haven't taken up to this devotional process seriously. So if somebody is not a devotee today and we commit an offense against him or her, thinking he's not a devotee and we can do whatever we want, and tomorrow he becomes a devotee, then we have to pay for that offense. Although we committed when this person was not a devotee. So this is how serious Vaishnava offense is. So the conclusion was either you make sure that person does not become a devotee, or just beg for forgiveness and not commit offense again. This is how seriously Krishna takes into account his devotees and the offenses committed against them. Now look at the situation here. Jai Vijay are associates of Vishnu, eternal associates. 4 Kumaras, they were impersonalists and they were coming, and Jai Vijay stopped them. But they became devotees when they saw the Lord. So Jai and Vijay are getting punished for committing a Vaishnava offense. This is how serious it gets. Text number 7. Yat sevya charna padma pavitra renum sadhyah kshapta khil malam pratilabdha sheelam nashrira viraktam api mam vijhati yasya prekshala vartha itare niyamana vahanti. The Lord continued, because I am the servitor of my devotees, my lotus feet have become so sacred that they immediately wipe out all sin, and I have acquired such a disposition that the goddess of fortune does not leave me, even though I have no attachment for her. And others praise her beauty and observe sacred vows to secure from her even a slight favor. So the Lord is saying, I have all these powers because of the devotees. The relationship between the Lord and his devotee is transcendently beautiful. As a devotee thinks that it is due to being a devotee of the Lord that he is elevated in all good qualities. So the Lord also thinks that it is because of his devotion to the servitor that all his transcendental glories have increased. Wow, such a beautiful relationship and beautiful reciprocity. Devotee thinks he does not have any quality. Just because he is a devotee of the Lord, he has whatever qualities by the mercy of the Lord. And the Lord thinks the same way. Because I am devoted to my servant or my devotees, my qualities have increased. In other words, as a devotee is always anxious to render service to the Lord, so the Lord is ever anxious to render service to the devotee. The Lord admits herein that although he certainly has the quality that anyone who receives a slight particle of the dust of his lotus feet becomes at once a great personality, this greatness is due to his affection for his devotee. It is because of this affection that the goddess of fortune does not leave him, and that not only one but many thousands of goddesses of fortune engage in his service. So the Lord is saying it's because of my service to my devotees, my Lakshmi ji does not leave me. He's saying I don't have any quality. Amazing. In the material world, simply to get a little favor from the goddess of fortune, people observe many rigid regulations of austerity and penance. The Lord cannot tolerate any inconvenience on the part of the devotee. He is therefore famous as Bhaktavatsal. So, in the material world, people are doing so many things. So, Krishna is not partial to them. He's always neutral to people of the material world. Whatever they do, they'll get the reaction. Good or bad, that's up to the work. But for devotees, he says, they are special. And Lord cannot tolerate any inconvenience on the part of the devotee. So sometimes, or many times, we see the devotees are going through lots of tough time. But then it looks like the Lord is not even looking at them. Forget about taking care of them. But the Lord is always with his devotee, always there to protect him, always there to take care of him. But at the same time, if the devotee has to undergo some suffering to either make him more fixed up in devotion service, to make him more surrendered, to make him more humble, to make him more tolerant, or to take care of his, although for a devotee there is no karmic reaction left, but whatever the Lord decides. So if to make him more fixed up, the Lord seemingly might not be there, but he's always there. It might look like for the devotee that the Lord has forgotten me. The Lord never forgets his devotee. Never, 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 ever, never. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Lord says to Arjun, you declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Never. And Lord is always there, right there to take care of his devotee. It's just we don't have faith. That's the problem. So all these practices, all this association, all this katha and service and yatras and whatever we do, basically to increase our faith in the Lord, to increase our faith in the devotion service. That's why Prabhupada said he's therefore famous as Bhaktavatsal. Bhaktavatsal. Vatsal word comes from Vats. Vats means either the calf or a little baby. So how we take care of the calf, little calf, is so cute, so sweet, and a person naturally, I mean, if somebody is not a demon, then naturally develops love for him and takes care of him and he wants to protect him. And similarly, like a little baby, everybody loves little babies. So this is how Krishna treats his bhaktas, his devotees. He wants to take care of them, protect them, just protect them from any or every kind of distress. He's right there. But If he doesn't show up when we want, then we have to understand that he has a better plan for us. That's all. Text number 8. Naham tatadmi yajmanah vivitane shachotad घृत लुप्त मदन उत भंग मुखेन यद ब्राह्मणस्य मुखतश चरतोनुघासम तुष्टस्य मय्यवह्य तैर निज कर्म पाकः. I do not enjoy the oblations offered by the sacrificers in the sacrificial fire, which is one of my own mouths, with the same relish, as I do the delicacies overflowing with ghee, which are offered to the mouths of the Brahmins who have dedicated to me the results of their activities, and who are ever satisfied with my prasad. Wow. The devotee of the Lord or the Vaishnava does not take anything without offering it to the Lord. Since a Vaishnava dedicates all the results of his activities to the Lord, he does not taste anything eatable which is not first offered to him. The Lord also relishes giving to the Vaishnava's mouth all eatables offered to him. It's clear from this verse that the Lord eats through the sacrificial fire and the Brahman's mouth. Many times people say, oh, this is all superstition. This is all made up stories, made up by all these greedy and gluttonous Brahmins who want to eat nice food. That's why they have made up these stories that the Lord eats through the Brahman's mouth. But that's not true. This is in the scriptures. Lord eats through the sacrificial fire and the Brahman's mouth. So many articles, grains, ghee, etc., are offered in sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord. The Lord accepts sacrificial offerings from the Brahmins and devotees, and elsewhere it is stated that whatever is given for the Brahmins and Vaishnavas to eat is also accepted by the Lord. But here it is said that he accepts offerings to the mouths of Brahmins and Vaishnavas with even greater relish. Of course, the shloka talks only Brahmins, but Brahman, like Prabhupada explained previously in some of the shloka, that Vaishnava means Brahman. Simple as that. Vaishnava means actually more than Brahman. Brahman is Brahmajata Atiti Brahman. Means who could be only at the platform of Brahm, Jyoti. But Vaishnava is at the platform of Bhagwan and serving the Lord. So they are already Brahmins. So the Lord here says he accepts offerings to the mouth of Brahmins and Vaishnavas with even greater relish. So if we conduct a feast, or if we invite any Vaishnava and Brahmin to our house and offer them nice food, nice prasad, the Lord is satisfied. The best example of this is found in the life of Advaita Prabhu in his dealings with Haridas Thakur. Even though Haridas was born of a Mohammedan family, Advaita Prabhu offered him the first dish of a prasad after the performance of a sacred fire ceremony. And actually that was Shraddha ceremony of Advaita Acharya's father. Haridas Thakur informed him that he was born of a Mohammedan family, and that's why Advaita Prabhu was offering the first dish to a Mohammedan instead of an elevated Brahmin. So in the village of Shantipur, where Advaita Acharya conducted the ceremony, and he offered the first meal to Haridas Thakur. Advaita Acharya was a very well-known person, and he was a leader of the Brahmins there, and so many Brahmins were in the courtyard sitting and waiting for the prasad, and Advaita Acharya offered the first prasad, first dish to Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur protested, "What are you doing? Out of his humbleness, Haridas condemned himself a Mohammedan, but Advaita Prabhu, being an experienced devotee, accepted him as a real Brahman. Advaita Prabhu asserted that by offering the first dish to Haridas Thakur, he was getting the result of feeding 100,000 Brahmins. That was because of scriptures. That's what scriptures say. So Advaita Acharya did that, made that arrangement. And to continue with the story, and all the Brahmins, they got upset. The caste Brahmins, they got upset with Advaita Acharya, and they left the arena, left the ceremony, and went home. They didn't eat at Advaita Acharya's place. Haridas Thakur, when he saw this, he had eaten, but he didn't like it, and he went to his cave. So now Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu himself, combination of Mahavishnu and Sadashiva actually. So when this happened, there was a big storm in Navadvip, especially in Shantipur area. But he had invited Brahmins from all over Navadvip. So all over Navadvip, there was a huge, big storm. And in those days, what used to happen, the Brahmins or anybody in their house, they would keep a lamp burning all the time, because they would, whenever they need fire, they would just take from this lamp. They just burn a stick and just do the cooking. But what happened with that storm, it was so severe that every lamp in every household, it just got out, no fire. So when there is no fire, means no cooking. And the Brahmins hadn't eaten at Advaita Acharya's house. So now there was a problem. They were hungry and there was no fire. So the wives could not cook anything. So again, big meeting happened and everybody was worried now what to do. Because there is no fire. There were no lighters or matchsticks at that time. Now what to do? But somehow they got the news that there is one lamp burning in the whole Navadvip. Only one lamp. And the thing was, the point was they can go and get the fire from that lamp. But the lamp that was burning was in the cave of Haridas Thakur. That was the only lamp that was burning. So the Brahmins, now again the meeting was, either we die because of hunger or we go to Haridas Thakur's cave and get the fire. So they decided, let's go to the cave and get the fire. So they came to the cave, they begged for forgiveness from Haridas Thakur, they got the fire, and then everybody ate, had the prasad. So this is how much the Lord loves his devotees, especially devotees like Haridas Thakur. He might be born in Mohammedan family, but was so pure, he would chant 3 lakh names every day. That means 192 rounds minimum every day. So this is basically to show the power of devotion service, the power of holy name, and the love of the Lord for his devotees. That is incomparable. The conclusion is that if one can feed a Brahman or Vaishnava, it is better than performing hundreds of thousands of sacrifices. In this age, therefore, it is recommended that Hare Ranam, chanting the holy name of God and pleasing the Vaishnavas, are the only means to elevate oneself to spiritual life. Text number 9. Yesham vibharmiyaham akhanda vikundha yoga maya vibhutir malangri rajaha kiritah vipranstu kona vishahet yad arahnamba sadhya punati sahachandra lalama lokan. I am the master of my unobstructed internal energy, and the water of the Ganges is the remnant left after my feet are washed. The water sanctifies the three worlds, along with Lord Shiva, who bears it on his head. If I can take the dust of the feet of Vaishnavas on my head, who will refuse to do the same? The difference between the material world and the spiritual, a difference between the internal and external energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is that in the internal energy or in the spiritual world, all the opulences are undisturbed. Whereas in the external or material energy, all the opulences are temporary manifestations. The Lord Supremacy is equal in both the spiritual and material worlds. But the spiritual world is called the kingdom of God, and the material world is called the kingdom of Maya. Maya refers to that which is not actually fact. The opulence of the material world is a reflection. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that this material world is just like a tree whose roots are up and branches down. This means that the material world is a shadow of the spiritual world. Real opulence is in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, the predominating deity is the Lord himself, whereas in the material world, there are many lords. That's the difference between the internal and external energies. The Lord says that although he is a predominating factor of the internal energy, and although the material world is sanctified just by the water that has washed his feet, he has the greatest respect for the Brahman and the Vaishnavas. When the Lord himself offers so much respect to the Vaishnava and the Brahman, how can one deny such respect to such personalities? That means he is giving this instructions to Jay and Vijay. How could they offend four Kumaras? Lord says, even I am ready to serve my devotees. I am ready to take the lotus feet, the dust of the lotus feet on my head. So what's the problem with you? When Lord was enacting his pastimes as baby Krishna in Vrindavan, so he had just started learning how to walk. Because Lord is always walking, but in his pastimes, just to give pleasure to his devotees, especially Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, he started to walk. First he was crawling, and then he started to walk. And when Nand Maharaj would come home in the evening, and Nand Maharaj would come and tell Yashoda Maya, or Yashoda, is your Lala good for anything? Does it do anything? Yashoda, yes, he does lots of services, lots of work in the house. Lala, go inside and get Nand Baba's slippers for him to wear. And Krishna would go, jumpingly, he would go inside, very enthusiastically, that he wants to serve Nand Baba. And he would bring the slippers, but not just holding the slippers. He was putting the slippers on his head and bring them out for Nand Baba to wear. That's how much he loves his devotees. And Krishna is ready to do this service for his devotees. So what's our excuse? We try to find faults with the devotees all the time. Somehow we want to put them down so we don't have to serve them. Instead, they should be serving me rather, because they are down there and I am up here. That's not the right attitude. And that's not how we please Krishna. We can please our senses or our ego. We try to satisfy our ego this way, but that's not how we please Krishna or get eligible to go back to the spiritual world. The path to the spiritual world is through the door of humility. And that door, someplace I was reading, that door is very small. So one has to really bend down, means one has to really become humble to get through that door. And remain humble, not just once we fake humility, show our humility, and that's it, it's done. No. That has to be ingrained. That has to be cultivated, developed. That quality has to be developed. Humility. Humility is not just a quality, it's the backbone of the body of bhakti. It's the heart of bhakti. And not just fake humility, the real humility. And real humility is, in words of Prabhupada, what is the definition of humility? Humility, he said, is understanding I don't have any qualifications. Whatever is happening in my life, whether materially, spiritually, whichever way, it's all by the mercy of Krishna. We forget it. Every day we forget it. But we have to be reminded. We have to remind it ourselves. I don't have any qualifications. Literally, we have to know that, remember that. Not as a matter of show off to others. And when that happens, and when we give the credit to the Lord that by your mercy, everything is happening. मेरा आपकी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है. And really we feel like that internally, because nobody can see internally what we are doing, except the Lord and the spiritual master and ourselves, we ourselves. We have to feel that internally. And then we will be making progress. And then the Lord will be really taking care of us. Look at the qualities of Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur is telling others, why are you making such a mistake? I'm not qualified. But Advaita Acharya is hell-bent on serving him. A real scenario, real case scenario, Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu, Sadashiv, and Haridas Thakur is Brahmaji. There is so much of love in that relationship, in the reciprocation. That is the Lord and his devotees. That is the relationship between the Lord and his devotees. The whole Bhagavatam is full of these narrations. How Lord protects his devotees and how much he loves his devotees and how much he is ready to punish anybody who does anything wrong or who acts against his devotees. This is how much he loves his devotees. So all we have to do is try to become devotee of Lord, become a devotee of Krishna. That's all. So I guess we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I have 3 questions. Prabhuji, tell me, here we read, in fact, the 2 of them are just clarifications only. So the Lord, and we know that the sacrificial fire is actually the mouth of the Lord, and we offer all the oblations there. So usme we put Gai Gobar, cow dung as well. So is that also taken by the Lord? Ethan, क्योंकि मैंने देखा था last time जब हवन हुई थी तो cow dung भी उसमें मिलाते हैं.
Well, when Putana came and she took Krishna and Krishna killed Putana and the gopis went and they brought down Krishna and then first thing they did was give him bath with the cow urine and cow dung. So he loves cow dung.
बात तो करवाते
Whether he
प्रभु
eats, whether he eats or not, that's a different story. But he loves cow dung.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the other question that I have is, Prabhuji, in fact, in numerous previous classes, in fact, we have discussed that all these qualities, for instance, in fact, the desire, even the desire that we have, or the happiness, etc., that we have, it's because the Lord has it, and we are part of Him, so we will have it. So I'm just wondering, how can then we are so envious? In fact, is it because even that quality, that negative quality, is there in the Lord also? Envy and jealousy. We are
Um,
so
See, whatever we have in the material world is a perverted reflection of pure qualities which he has. So enviousness is a reflection, perverted reflection of competitiveness, healthy competition. So in spiritual world, it's healthy competition. In the okay, enviousness, we can understand it this way. Like Krishna says in Gita, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Don't surrender to each and everybody or anybody else. Surrender to me. That's not enviousness. But when it becomes perverted, then when it comes into us, it takes a different form, wrong form. We become envious.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I think that's very nicely explained. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And the third question that I have, Prabhuji, in fact, these two last verses that we just now read, in fact, texts 8 and 9, I'm wondering, Prabhuji, I mean, कोई scope ही नहीं है ना? In fact, there's no scope at all. So, in fact, when we go out as well, forget about going out. घर में भी तो everybody is a Vaishnav. And I mean, there is no scope at all to even take out any negative words from mouth, forget about thinking or acting.
Yep. And this is how all the residents of Vaikuntha world they live. They live by serving each other and serving the Lord. The wonderful relationship.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. And the way you explained this,
You.
at least the last two texts is so powerful, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brother. Any other question or comment?
Prabhu, I have a curiosity. Prabhu, I
Mm-hmm.
want to understand. Please don't take me wrong, Prabhu. I want to understand how much. I mean, you have read so much, and I know you have been kind of doing it for so many years now. But how much time do you spend every day reading the scriptures, Prabhu? The reason I'm asking this is, for any text, in fact, the examples that you quote is so apt and it makes so simple for us. Whereas अगर हम लोग ऑफिस से कैसे डिस्कस कर रहे होते कई बार तो अटक जाते हैं कि इसको समझाए कैसे and then फिर चक्कर में पड़ जाते हैं. So for example अभी जैसे आपने बताया in fact we have seen that photo as well at Nandgaon temple में Lord Krishna kind of holding the kathau on his head. So very apt example. You take it at the right time. So just guide us, Prabhuji. We also will read accordingly and kind of enlighten us.
Well, I don't spend as much time as I should. That's all I can say.
But the
Krishna's
example,
mercy, I have spent some time when I was in India, more time than I'm doing now. So it's all Prabhupada's mercy and Krishna's mercy that I can say something.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Make it so simple for us to understand. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Ever grateful to
Thank you, Babaji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful Sunday. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.